Alright, I got some controversy for you guys. Just a little, I'm not really going to call it a controversy. I'm going to call it more my observations on the farm. So what we are looking at is a conventional field of soybeans here that has been tilled. This was disked. It has been disked for a number of years now. Lexi, stand up. Go in there next to those soybeans right there. Right there. Stand next to that second row. Go on, you can walk in there. Okay, so we look at the height on these. So this field was planted the same day as this field behind me. So I'm going to turn around. Here is, and this is, I don't know how you're going to get any closer to being the same dirt right here. And also, if you look in my organic, they were planted about a week and a half after these and tilled up. You can see from the line there how much better they're actually doing even compared to this, which is just disked, so you know, a few inches on the top. So now we're going to come over here. This is a conventional no-till field right here. If you look up through here, you can kind of see with my finger, you can see the patches, like right here, thin spots, just throughout the whole field. It's not very uniform. This was done with a nice John Deere no-till planter. Did everything that you would want a no-till planter to do. You had a nice good seed bed right through here. Was tilling it up. Gave it a nice spot to start. Now, stand right here next to these soybeans, Lexi. Look at the difference. My sister-in-law's dog there. We are babysitting while they're dog sitting while they're on vacation, but if you can see that, they're ankle height. These were planted the exact same day as this field, and like I said, about a week and a half before my organic field back there. Now, if you guys still aren't convinced how much better tillage is, and this could go, it might be the type of soil that we have. You know, there's so many factors that go into this. But this is what I see on my farm, and well, this is the family farm. This is my brother's. Same over here. This is another no-till that he's got, that he just tried to do in a no-till, and he's not very impressed. But up here in this field, focusing on my finger again, I'm going to bring you up here. Wow. Anyway, I'm going to bring you up there, and I'll show you a section in this field that he disked, and we'll do a side-by-side test in the same field. So let me bring you up there real quick. Okay, so before we go up into my brother's and show you the disc mark, we're out in my organic field here. Some weeds, of course, that I'm in the process of zapping, and these have got to get a little bit taller so I can kill them effectively. And this is one of the worst sections for grass in this field, if you can see out there. Not sure how well the camera's picking it up, but there's not a lot of grass out there. But I want to show you these soybeans. How bushy they are. Now, this is a different brand of soybeans than what my brother planted, obviously. And being organic, I try to pick some that get bushier faster. So this isn't the best side-by-side picture that I can give you, but one thing I did want you to notice, we got some rain yesterday. I want you to notice how wet this is right through here. How much moisture this is holding, and a lot of it has to do with the organic material in the soil. A lot of it has to do with it being soft and able to soak in. But these are my organic soybeans, like I said, planted a week and a half after my brother's soybeans up there. So now we're going to go look at the disc mark, and that kind of tells a real story because it's the same soybeans right next to itself. in the same field. Okay, so now I am standing right here in the middle of where he came up through with the disc. And this was one pass with the disc. That's all this difference is. I want you guys to notice, you can't see very well here. Let me get down here. Lexi, stand next to this row right here. Right there. Okay. So we're right about knee high. So go right over here, honey. Right over into that area. Keep going. Keep going. Here, let's go over a few rows. Come over here. Come over here. Okay, so stand there now. Not a super big difference, but one disc pass in this hard no-till ground, the disc didn't do a lot. But as you can see, look at the difference here from that disc pass. And from the road, it is very evident. It's amazing. My brother, who was really advocating the no-till and wanting it to work, every day drives by this, and every day the tilled ground here is just looking better and better. He has decided maybe no-till isn't the way to go out here. I can't say that I blame him. I mean, I've been advocating for tillage my whole farming career, so
Come here.
It's nice to be able to kind of see it in practice. And like I said, just one disc pass did that. Oh boy, dog's running away. Look at him. Hey, he actually listened and came back. Look at him. Anyhow, I'm pretty like I said, I'm enjoying watching this. I'm enjoying seeing it and all the arguments that I've had with the no-till guys. This is going to be a fun one to talk about. This is definitely going to be a fun one to talk about, because I mean, you can't deny the side-by-side difference in these soybeans. It's about night and day. And yeah, you guys seen my organic soybeans, how much, I mean, they didn't just catch up, they surpassed the non-plowed ground. And I mean, it just goes to tell you, I mean, if we use common sense here, if you plant a garden, you don't plant your garden into hard cement, do you? No, you want it nice and tilled up, and you want the root base to have a nice soft area for it to expand, get nutrients from farther out, get moisture from farther out, farther down. You don't plant into cement, which most no-till fields that I've been into, they are like cement. And they say, oh, it's because the hard pan is on top, and when you plant into it, so you're getting through that hard pan, and then your soybeans can go in, blah, blah, blah. That is a load of crap. You can take and dig into any one of these no-till fields, and it is just as hard 8 inches down as it is on the surface. And there's, I don't know, some of the myths that you are told, and some of the myths that people are led to believe as facts when it comes to no-till, it really has a lot to do, not to sound like political or anything, but it has a lot to do with like Monsanto's and some of these bigger companies that are advocating for more chemicals, less tillage. You know, let's use chemicals instead of tillage, and they have to find a way to market that to you and sell it to you. Land erosion is one of the biggest things, and it's, I don't know, I can argue with that. I can argue that too. There's a lot of ruts in these no-till fields. In my plowed grounds, we don't get the ruts, and we actually don't get the runoff. Now we get 5 inches in a couple of hours. Of course we get some runoff. Everybody's going to get runoff. You get that much rain. But the other day we got about 1.5 inches within about an hour, hour and a half, and I had no runoff. Everything soaked in. I didn't have any ruts going through the fields or anything. And these, they actually had running water coming down through them. You can kind of see where it was running kind of starting to build little ruts right here where it was running down, and that was getting carried down. In my fields there wasn't puddles, it was all soaked, it all soaked in. So you know, what's more likely to happen, 5 inches in a couple hours or an inch in a couple hours? Around here it's an inch in a couple hours, 2 inches in a couple hours, and we don't get the runoff. I don't see the runoff in my plowed organic ground as I do in the no-till fields right next to my land that I farm. So I don't know, there's a lot of myths that have been told about no-till, and everything that I have seen in my farming career has debunked about every one of them. Now I can't wait for the end of the year, because my brother keeps track of yield pretty good, so we'll be able to see what this yields and what is disc ground over in the other field that I show you the yields. Then, like my organic, you can't really go off of that because it's different numbers and just grown differently altogether. But this field and that field over there, side by side, they're pretty much the same soil. It's going to be interesting to see the yield difference. Because another thing that they try to say is, well, when the plant is stressed this early, it'll end up yielding more in the long run. So that's the last myth that I am curious about, because obviously I've never had a chance to test it, and this year we'll be able to test that myth. We'll also get to see how he likes sending all of those corn stalks through his combine, if that makes any bit of a difference. But probably won't with the L2 that he's got. I'd imagine it probably will make zero difference. But anyhow, that's kind of where I'm at. Keep an eye out for the next video. We're going to be doing some zapping. I already got the video started, and it is the most satisfying thing ever. So I appreciate you guys for watching. I hope I didn't offend anybody here. I'm just trying to share my experiences and information that I'm gathering along my journey here. And we'll have some numbers for you in fall and see what yields better. I think that's going to be the biggest test, won't it? Everything here is all subjectable, and at the end of the season, what yields better? And then, you know, my brother would have to do some math. Did the extra yield, does it pay for the extra fuel for the tillage and all that stuff? You know, that's not for me to decide. But what is for me to decide is what crops are growing better. What can you get better crops off of? So that's kind of what I'm interested here. And then you look at the soil, there's a little moisture there, but not like my field was. My field was actually sticking to your feet. That's pretty well dry. So that's a thing too. So thank you everybody for watching. Hope you enjoyed listening to me rant about no-till. And I hope to catch you on the next one.